streets of the city on the evening of February 14th, Linda carried not only a bouquet of flowers, but also the excitement of meeting her friend Elena. They hadn't seen each other for a long time, and Linda hoped to make this Valentine's Day special. However, her plans were suddenly disrupted by something emerging from the dark corners of her perception. At the intersection of the streets, Linda noticed a shadow rising from the ground. A creature, humanoid but with distorted facial features and dark eyes, stood in her path. A sense of an unknown chill enveloped her as the creature slowly turned its head towards her. "What is this thing?" Linda stepped back, feeling the excitement turning into it. The creature, silently standing its ground, emitted an eerie light from its eyes. It seemed like a piercing witness to past woes and unresolved mysteries. Linda was paralyzed, staring at this creature whose features warped under the pressure of some unseen force. The humanoid approached slowly. Step by step, its influence intensified, seizing her consciousness and infusing unknown fears into her. The creature raised its hand towards Linda, and she felt her awareness dissolving into dark. Suddenly, Linda's friend Elena appeared at the street corner. She rushed towards Linda, interrupting the power of this strange entity. With difficulty, they freed themselves from its influence, and the creature vanished into the night, merging with its dark secrets. Shaking from what they had experienced, Linda and Elena embraced. Elena explained that she recently discovered an ancient scroll in the local library that spoke of a being known as the Forgotten Shadow. It was a spirit that hunted for unresolved secrets and untold dark truths. It turned out that Linda harbored terrifying memories she hadn't even attempted to comprehend. The Forgotten Shadow sought to bring them to light, penetrating Linda's mind. Elena, being a sort of occult expert, decided to confront this spirit to save her friend. Together, they decided to perform a cleansing ritual to expel the Forgotten Shadow. The Valentine's Day evening became a trial and a test of willpower. With difficulty but with Elena's assistance, they managed to slow down the creature's influence and initiate the expulsion process. Under the glow of candles and incantations, the Forgotten Shadow began to fade, smoothly dissolving into the air. Linda felt the dark secrets within her mind being liberated, and the friends embraced each other in a sign of victory. The long evening of February 14th left its mark on Linda and Elena. They realized that the darkness they had concealed inside was merely a predisposition for an encounter with the Forgotten Shadow. All that remained was to seek the light and celebrate their liberated friendship, understanding that true mysteries are better unraveled together.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two.
The chill of February 14th crept through the streets, whispering of love and longing. Mark, a young man with eager anticipation, treaded through the dimly lit alleyways, clutching a bouquet of roses tightly. His heart thumped with nervous excitement as he approached his girlfriend's apartment. However, as he turned the corner onto her street, a shiver raced down his spine. There, under the flickering lamplight, stood a figure unlike any he had ever seen. Its silhouette was twisted and elongated, with limbs that seemed to bend in a Mark's breath caught in his throat as he stared, transfixed by the grotesque sight. With a sudden jolt, the figure lurched forward, its eyes gleaming in the darkness. Mark stumbled backward, dropping the bouquet in his panic. He wanted to scream, to run, but his limbs felt like lead. "Mark, is everything okay?" A voice called out from behind him. It was his girlfriend, Emily, stepping out of her apartment building with a puzzled expression. Mark's eyes darted between Emily and the creature before him. Should he warn her? Would she even believe him? But before he could decide, the figure vanished into the shadows, leaving behind only a faint echo of its chilling laughter. "Sorry, I thought I saw something," Mark stammered, forcing a smile. "Happy Valentine's Day, Emily." As they embraced, Mark couldn't shake the feeling of unease that lingered in the air. Something was terribly wrong, and he feared that this Valentine's Day would be like no other. Night fell like a heavy curtain, casting the city into darkness. Mark lay awake in bed, his mind consumed by thoughts of the mysterious figure. Was it a trick of the light or something more sinister? He couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. Suddenly, a soft scratching sound echoed from the window. Mark froze, his heart pounding in his chest. Slowly, he rose from bed and approached the window, his hands trembling with fear. What he saw on the other side sent a shiver down his spine. The figure stood outside, its twisted form illuminated by the pale moonlight. Its eyes bore into Mark's soul, filled with a hunger that chilled him to the core. Without a second thought, Mark slammed the window shut and drew the curtains closed, hoping to shut out the nightmare that lurked beyond. But even as he retreated to the safety of his bed, he knew that the creature's presence would haunt him until dawn. The following day dawned gray and dreary, the events of the previous night weighing heavily on Mark's mind. He tried to shake off the feeling of dread as he made his way to Emily's apartment, determined to spend Valentine's Day with the woman he loved. But as he approached her building, his heart sank. The door hung open, swinging gently in the breeze. Mark's pulse quickened as he stepped inside, calling out Emily's name. Silence greeted him, broken only by the sound of his own footsteps echoing off the walls. Panic gnawed at his insides as he searched every room, but Emily was nowhere to be found. And then, just as he was about to give up hope, he heard a soft whimper coming from the basement. With a sinking feeling in his stomach, Mark descended the stairs, his hands clammy with fear. What he found there would haunt him for the rest of his days. Emily lay bound and gagged on the cold concrete floor, her eyes wide with terror as the creature loomed over her, its twisted form casting a long shadow in the dim light. Without hesitation, Mark lunged forward, his fists flying as he fought to free his beloved from the creature's clutches. But no matter how hard he fought, the creature seemed to be one step ahead, its inhuman strength overpowering him at every turn. Just when all hope seemed lost, Mark remembered the bouquet of roses he had dropped in his panic the night before. With a desperate surge of adrenaline, he reached out and grabbed the nearest stem, wielding it like a weapon against the creature's grotesque form. To his surprise, the roses burst into flame upon contact with the creature's skin, filling the room with an otherworldly light. With a deafening roar, the creature recoiled, its twisted form writhing in agony as it dissolved into ash before their eyes. Mark wasted no time in freeing Emily from her bonds, holding her close as they watched the last traces of the creature fade away. And as they emerged from the darkness of the basement into the light of day, Mark knew that their love had triumphed over evil once and for all. But deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that the nightmare was far from over. For on this Valentine's Day, they had come face to face with a darkness that lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike when least expected. And though they had emerged victorious, Mark knew that they would never truly be safe until the creature was vanquished for good.
Just the two of us.